Well, hello there, and welcome to the channel. You are watching Walking Talking Gardeners. Well, let me yeah, it's better. I'll talk about that in a minute. So, I want to discuss with you those 5 mistakes that you wish to avoid when it comes to overwintering your tree ferns. Because we are here in England, that's important. We'll talk about that a bit more. Then we can only really grow one tree fern outside that is considered to be hardy. It's not fully hardy. We'll go down to about -5 degrees, no problem at all. And that plant is the absolutely fantastic Dicksonia antarctica, otherwise known as the soft tree fern or man fern. Manly fern. Dicksonia antarctica tree ferns. They are found growing in the cloud forests of eastern Australia and Tasmania. Yes, cloud forests are a thing. We'll discuss that in a minute. And this is fortuitous because I would like to welcome our Australian viewers. Whose numbers are growing at a fantastic rate. Not because I've done anything in particular, but because it is now spring in the Antipodean regions. Antipodean means opposite feet, because it's on the other side of the world. Keep up. Oh, and if you are from Australia, New Zealand, of course, Tasmania, and those other weird islands like Lord Howe Island, and don't forget, when you're watching these videos, you're going to need to jump forward or go back 6 months, because obviously our climates and jobs we do are entirely opposite in the year to when yours are. So bear that in mind when I start talking about pruning and planting and the rest of it. I'm rambling. Mistake number 1. Mistake number 1 is to cut off the healthy tree fern fronds prior to putting in your winter protection. What on earth are you playing at? Removing healthy tree fern fronds, that's difficult to say, is one of the worst things you can possibly do for the health of your plant, next to, say, not watering it ever. If you continue to do this over the next few seasons, your crown will shrink, your fronds will become tiny little things. It's going to be in a state of decline, and within a few years that plant will be dead. Now, you over there, I see you've been doing that for the past couple of years. You need to stop that now and start doing your wintering properly. And you, mate, yours already dead. Why are you still sprinkling straw on top of it? It's not going to do anything. Look, let me explain why you never remove a healthy tree fern frond. Tree ferns are evergreen. They have a fibrous root system. They don't have a thick taproot with energy reserves, and they don't lose their leaves naturally over the winter period like some of your other garden ferns. So it's an evergreen plant. It doesn't have massive reserves within itself to keep replenishing fronds you keep cutting off. It kind of gets its fertilizer hand to mouth. It comes in, it goes out. So these plants have spent the whole year producing one thick cone of evergreen fronds, and you've decided to cut it off. But it needs those fronds because over the winter, these will still be photosynthesizing in order to power the crown, because over the winter period, within the crown, it will be producing the New Year's fronds from tiny little bits of plant cells and just build them up over time. So it needs to keep producing sugar starches to make them. And not only that, don't forget that here in the UK, we do not have a cloud forest in your garden. You don't have a rainforest. You don't really have the rainfall for it. So the plant is already struggling a bit because it's not getting the conditions that it requires to grow to its maximum capacity. So come the spring, with these fronds, if it needs more energy to produce the New Year's fronds, it's going to absorb nutrition back from the old fronds. And you'll see that when you come in the spring, you start seeing the oldest ones shriveling up because it's all the starches, nutrition, sugars all being absorbed out of that frond back into the crown to produce the new ones, because photosynthetic activity is at its peak in the fresh growth, not the old fronds, the fresh growth. These old fronds are pretty much just there to be a resource of nutrition, starches, and energy. And that's why you don't cut them off. Look at the tree fernarium, it's not called that, at Wisley. Just check this out. It is absolutely heartbreaking. Every single one of them has had the fronds removed, and you can see the pathetic, weak, stunted growth that has resulted from it, because the plant just cannot build up enough energy reserves to produce these new fronds. And this is why you, especially you, never cut off the fronds of your tree ferns over the winter. Don't let me say it again, although I probably will have to redo this video next year because not enough people are watching it or just understand it, and I don't know where they're getting this information from. Who's telling these people to keep chopping the fronds off? Now, I understand that when you buy these plants, once they've been tipped into a container off of Tasmanian docks and sent to the UK, all the fronds are missing. I understand that because that is to do with the cost of transporting. You can get more trunks than you can than if you just left the fronds on, but because these have been growing in their natural habitat, they've got the most amount of reserves they can possibly have, and they can put out new fronds. But if you start doing it when it's in this country, no. You've seen the evidence. I've shown you with my own eyes what happens if you do it here. Never cut off the fronds of your tree fern unless it's all brown and withered and looks horrible. Then only then you can cut it off. Other than that, no. Oh, hold on a minute. If you're finding this video useful or even just mildly amusing, then don't forget to click the thumbs up, press on that subscription, and if you want to be notified of whenever we release a new video, then click on that notification bell. It helps us more than you know, and it allows us to do stupid visits like this in the future. Anyway, let's continue to find out what old boiled butt has to say. Put my bloody glasses back on. Too hot, too sunny. It's too lovely. Mistake number 2 is to do with watering. Let's just start off with this little fact. Your tree ferns will require a minimum of 1 meter of rain every single year, and that is like regular rain throughout the year. We're not talking about drought periods where you're not getting the rain and think you can get away with it because like the last month you've had half a meter and that makes it fine, because it doesn't. In the UK we barely get to about a meter of rain, maybe about 800 mil. But take this year for example, it hasn't rained really from February really up until about September, so the whole year no rain whatsoever, and we've got rain tomorrow, but absolute complete lack of rain. Now in the cloud forests of eastern Australia and Tasmania, you can get rainfall up to 3 meters of rain. It kind of hovers as an average of about 2 meters throughout that region, but up to 3 meters. So in this country we get about half the rainfall. And can I also say that the largest amount of rainfall is over their winter period. So watering is absolutely crucial to your tree ferns over the winter period. You cannot stop watering, you have to keep going. The only time I would recommend you not water your tree ferns is if you've got freezing conditions. Outside of that, make sure you keep watering. You want to water not only directly into the crown, and you want to put 1 litre or 2 litres into there at least once a week over the winter period. Don't forget to also water the trunk, which is effectively a big husky water bottle. It needs to be fully saturated to be kept in its peak condition. But also tree ferns they absolutely hate their roots in the ground, those fibrous roots being dry. They like to be kept moist all the time. So again, during periods of drought, make sure that's watered too. You're growing a plant in the UK that's basically permanently wet. almost rain every single day. And if you don't give it the amount of water it requires, then again, you can get shrinkage in the crown. You just lose weight in the trunk. I mean, if you've ever picked up a tree fern trunk straight off of the boat from Tasman, lifted up, that is heavy. It's fully saturated. And yet, in this country, you cut it, you lift it, it weighs like a feather. So, and they struggle to build up the root system within the trunk because the roots start at the top of the crown, they grow down through the trunk and then into the ground. So the whole thing is just some massive water container. So watering, absolutely crucial. Don't ever stop doing it. And especially if you wrap that crown, we'll get onto that in a minute, then you put some holes in it, put some holes so you can get water in it, or just have the whole thing on micro irrigation. Whatever you do, just give it the water it requires because most people just don't give it enough. Here, look, if you've seen the prices of tree ferns in the shops at the moment, it's incredible. You're looking at about 400, 450 for a 3-4 foot tall trunk. It's absolutely criminal, the cost of these things nowadays. Now, I can't help you with the price of tree ferns to try and get you a better deal, but what I can do is give you a better price on your seeds, your bulbs, especially at this time here. Bulbs have really gone up. Potted plants, many of your garden centre sundries, and I can give you a decent amount of cash off that, and that is real folding money. All you need to do is just check out breaking news. Welcome to breaking news. Thompson and Morgan have joined forces with us, Walking Talking Gardeners, to give you, our viewers, an incredible 12% discount off of everything they have in their store. That's all their dry goods, their sundries, their seeds, their bulbs, all their plants. Everything means everything. How can they do it? I have no idea, but all you need to do to get that discount is spend over £20 and stick in this promotional code, which will be in the description. Alternatively, you can go direct to our landing page, which I'll also put here, and your code will be added automatically. Again, the link for that will be in the description. How do they do it? How can they possibly give such a large discount? I've no idea. No one else can do it. You have got until the end of this year, that is December 31st, 2025, to take advantage of this offer, and then the offer is gone for the spring. So do it now. Spend all your money buying what you need. Don't buy stuff you don't need. It's only worth doing it if it was stuff you wanted to buy in the first place. Don't forget, now is the time to plant your spring flowering bulbs. Anyway, it's all in the description. It's a fantastic offer. I thoroughly recommend it. Who gives 12%? 5% is like your profit margin on all this garden centre products. 12%. Enough said. And now back to your regular programming. Mistake number 3 is to do with your winter protection. As I said earlier, tree ferns will tolerate temperatures down to approximately -5 degrees Celsius. So you can probably get away with that in the mildest parts of the UK. Even though we are on the south coast here and we are generally mild, you always get a few nights where it will drop even further. And because of that, even we have to put on some winter protection. Now, it's not so bad if you've planted your tree fern in the right position, such as underneath a canopy of a larger tree, because that always helps them, and that is pretty much exactly where they live, as a mid-story plant in the forest. But any further than that, you're going to have to put in some winter protection. Now, I like to wrap up my tree ferns with a couple of layers of horticultural fleece, and that's important because horticultural fleece is breathable. Do not cheapen out and just put down some regular plastic and think that's going to happen. All that will do is you'll build up moisture, that increase the risk of fungal attack, and you'll ruin your plant. Just don't even go with that. So buy the right stuff, horticultural fleece, and wrap it around the top. Oh, do I need to say a bit more on that, or shall I leave it for another mistake? I wonder. No, I'm going to have it as mistake number 4. Can I just say that that -5 degrees Celsius, that is under a canopy of a tree. If it's exposed outside and you get hard, sharp frost on those fronds, then it will kill off those fronds, and we're back to the same situation as if you cut all the fronds off, because they'll be dead. And oh, I won't go back into that because I know I could rant. So it's about protecting the crown. The crown is the most important part of your tree fern. And there are a couple of things you need to do. You need to put some protection physically in the center of that crown. Now, this could be a ball of horticultural fleece that goes in. It could be like a good thick handful of leaves, or it could be straw. Something that kind of remains dryish as best as you can, something that isn't going to cause condensation, but something that gives like good protection inside that crown, because you're desperately trying to protect the new curled up fronds before they come out, and you don't want them damaged later. And secondly, around the outside of the crown, again, I'd give that additional frost protection too, you know, like a scarf around a old person's neck. I'll be wearing mine in a week or so. So 2-3 layers of thick fleece around the top and above and below the crown. You can't overprotect it, hopefully. I'm not saying anyone do that. I mean, sure, somebody out there can be a bit silly and do that. So the crown is the key. Make sure that is fully protected, because if all else fails, literally if all else fails, if the crown is intact, the plant can be recovered. So we are at mistake number 5, and well done for watching it this far. And I want to talk to you about fertilizer. Now, typically on pretty much every other plant, I say you shouldn't be fertilizing over the winter. There really is no point. But with tree ferns, it's different, and I'll tell you for why. Have you seen a tree fern from above, looking down? The fern structure is exactly the same as a funnel, and in the center, like a mouth more, you've got the middle of the crown. Now, if you look at the stems of the fronds, they're kind of recurved, so water can come down. It's all about moving food and water into the crown. And you'll see at the bottom of the fronds, you get a build-up of leaf litter, and especially if this has been grown within a rainforest and you've got the canopy above you, then all leaf litter and detritus falls into the funnel and makes its way down into the crown. And that's important because as all that detritus and leaf litter rots off, when it rains, it pushes water into the crown. So these tree ferns, they take an awful lot of feeding, but believe me, an absolute huge amount of food. And that doesn't stop over the winter period, because like I say, you're going to get more rain, more leaf litter and detritus coming through, more nutrition entering the tree fern through the crown. And like I say, this is important because for those 3 months of the winter, it's building up this massive resource of energy to power and build these new fronds. So your fertilizing of tree ferns continues over the winter period. Now, I understand that is a contentious issue, but believe me, that's what happens in its native habitat. If you want to keep your tree ferns in top condition, you need to mimic that too. So I'm not saying you would feed it as often as you did during the summer period, but you still need to put down a liquid soluble fertilizer in the crown at least once a month, just to keep that thing going. You could apply it more, but I would be reticent to do that. It just doesn't feel right to me. But also, don't forget, you have this massive mat of fibrous roots at the base of the trunk. So you can feed that too by putting on a nutritious mulch, such as a farmyard blend of manures. But you can also put down other stuff like leaf molds, moldy leaves, some leaf mulch, pine needles, because they do sort of like it slightly on the acidic side, although they're quite happy in alkaline conditions. So feeding, another key. You don't feed it, you'll have weaker fronds being produced in the spring. And those really are my 5 mistakes to avoid when it comes to growing tree ferns. And if you have any other great tips regarding these plants, put that in the comments. We would love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to click the like button. Press the subscription if you want to be notified by YouTube. They don't really do it unless you click on that notification bell as well. They'll send you a few, and then if you don't watch it, just go and not bother sending them out. So if you really do want to be sent new ones when I make them, that notification bell has to be done. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Goodbye. Right, now, just before you go, if you want to see more content, more behind the scenes stuff, and images that I've taken of some weird freaky plants over the years, then you're in luck, because we have created an Instagram page. So you can find the link in our description. You can find the link on our main page, and if I'm clever enough, I might be able to get a link somewhere up there. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you want to see more YouTube stuff, then check out this video here. That's quite a good one. And if it doesn't float your boat, then another one right there. And enjoy these while I've still got the strength, imagination and aptitude to make them. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.